Greetings everyone, this is Non-Expert here back again with another video. Today we are going to be solving problem number 8 of our May LeetCode challenge, and the problem that I'm given to us today is check if it's a straight line. So if you want to try solving this problem on your own, you can pause this video and check out the LeetCode link given in the description below, and let's get started. So the problem statement is that you're given an array coordinates where each element inside coordinate has an x and a y list, and each value x y represents the coordinate of a point. You need to check if these points make a straight line in the xy plane. So you've been given an example over here where you have a list of coordinates and you need to check whether this makes a straight line or not. And if it does, then you return a Boolean value of true or false. So all in all, this problem is actually pretty straightforward. I've seen this problem being asked a lot as a baseline problem, so this is a must know. But although this problem is like really easy to solve, you just want to make sure that you understand all the constraints before you jump right in. So a simple way to solve this problem would just be that you take a baseline and then you compare the slopes. So if you take this point and then you compare the slope with every single other point, what you will notice is that the slope is always going to be the same. So that's one formulation that you could use to identify whether it's going to make a straight line or not. And if it doesn't, you sort of break out of the loop. One other thing that you want to make sure is that whenever you're computing the value of slope, which is basically a simple formula, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, you want to make sure that you're handling for all constraints. That's the only catch that I see in this problem, so let's get started. So we're going to start with the base condition, which is just going to be that if nothing's been given to us, then we're just going to return a false, pretty straightforward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an x1 and y1, and I'm going to do a quick double unpack on my coordinates value for my first value. So that's my baseline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate through all the values except for the first one. So let's do that real quick. So what I essentially have over here is an x2 and a y2. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have something called a slope. And for the base condition, I can just say, hey, if slope is none, then I actually need to compute what the slope is going to be. And the slopes computation is just a simple mathematical formulation, which is pretty straightforward, which is y2 minus y1 and divide by x2 minus x1. And if it's the first value, this will only happen when there's no slope, so you continue forward. And what you eventually want to do is, if this thing does not happen, you want to make sure that this y2, y1 value that you're computing now is equivalent for all other values as well. So if it's not, then you basically break out of the loop and you do return false, otherwise you return a true. So basically you've iterated through all the values and you're good to go. The only one thing that you want to make sure is that when you're computing this x2 minus x1, you don't have zero division errors. So let's just make sure that we take care of that. So that's just going to be, if this is equal to 0, then you return a false as well. So I guess this is a pretty straightforward problem. It doesn't really have that much into it. So let's just go ahead and run this. Oops, I think I'm not handling something. So I think, yeah, there's a quick spelling error, but we can fix that. And hopefully that should run it. And let's go ahead and submit this. So I actually believe that the reason why this problem is actually asked in interviews is just because the interviewer wants to get a gist of how you structure your thinking. And all you want to do is you just want to break down this problem into several parts. So the first part is just that the base conditions, which we always solve, which is a really good practice. The next condition that you want to make sure is that, well, actually, if you just count if you count the number of coordinates which have been given to you, and if you only have 2 points, well, those 2 points will always make a line unless there's a zero division sort of an error which is coming through. So that's just one thing that you want to make sure of. Otherwise, what you're doing is you just compute you iterate through each element except for the first one, and you try to compute the slope if you don't have the slope, and if you do have the slope, you compare it with all of the values. And if it's the same, then you sort of keep on moving forward. But if it's not the same, that means that there's some mismatch happening in the slope, and then you're good to go. Awesome, you can see that the submission has already been accepted. I think this is actually a pretty fast solution as well. So that was it for today's video. If you do have any comments, or if you do want to talk about something, do leave it in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you did like this video, do give a like and do subscribe to our channel. We are discussion over here and we would love to have you on board with us. And if you've already subscribed to us, you're awesome. We all know it, and have an awesome day. Thank you.